we're going to register a user now. We're going to create that view. And we've already set up a lot of what we needed for that. So we're just going to continue on. And instead of a sign in view, now we're going to make a sign up view. So we're just going to copy, this. I'm going to call this sign up view. And we're going to make something very similar. We're going to create a new user is equal to what we get back from a sign up serializer that we're going to make now. It's going to deal with our creation and validation of a new user. Request.data. And we're going to create that in a sec. New user dot is valid. Raise an exception true if there's a problem. Save. And if there's raise exception, this is going to throw like a 400 or something like that. Yeah, I think it'll be a 400 request if it's invalid, so we don't actually have to throw it ourselves. It'll, serializers are really useful in that respect. And then our user data is going to be exactly the same. Both of these are going to be exactly the same. So create our user. If it's all good, we're going to grab an auth packet with a fresh token, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to return that, the exact same packet that we would get if we logged in. So we're going to create a new user, and we're going to create all of our users. This is going to be a nice little trick for later. All of our users are going to have a name that starts with N, because when we're searching through our list of users next, in the future, we're going to want to just type in N and then start typing and then filter down our users. But we're not going to have a million users. We're just going to have a very small number. And so it's just going to make our lives a lot easier. So either the first name or the last name is going to start with N, no matter what we do. So we're going to create first one. Let's call it Nicole. Sorry, not it. Let's call her Nicole. Nicole G. I'm going to go Nicole Green. And then her password will be password, just like mine is. Password, they'll all be the same. And then when we hit sign up, nothing happens because we have not added our request yet. And we're just going to copy this whole thing here. Copy that. And go over to sign up. And instead of this, we're going to have our request. It's not going to be sign in, it's going to be sign up. It's going to be username and then first name and then first name. Now our first name here is using camel case, but Django will expect snake case, so just be wary of that. And then same thing, last name, and what else? Password 1. Sweet. Sign up. And we need to add a URL. So close down, make some room. Our URLs. Yep, we need to import this sign up view. And I feel like we are forgetting something, our serializer, our sign up serializer. So we're going to import that, and we're going to create it now. And we'll put that one first, because you got to, technically you will create a user before you even have a user to return. So just in chronological order. So when we receive this request, it expects a password, but we don't actually ever want to display that password. So we're going to provide something that's basically going to tell the serializer to never ever show or never ever include the password in any instance, so that, you know, if we return this object and we serialize it and then we return it, you know, via request or something like that later, which we won't, but if, you know, we're just going to make sure that it's never actually going to show, it's going to receive a password, but it's never ever going to show one. So I'll show what that means. I'm just going to add this option here. And so for the password field, we're going to give it a property called write only. And that's going to protect our password. Let's add a little note here. Save that. Now we need to on create. So when we call is validated, when we call save, which we do here, user.save, the create method is going to be called. And the validated data, we made sure that we called is validated. We are going to receive that data here. We're going to set them all as lowercase. Tisms. I'm going to create a new user. And we're going to set the, we can't add the password in this way, we need to set password. It's a special way of doing it. And we're going to pick that out. And then we're going to user.save into the database, and we're going to return the user. And that should be all we need to actually create a new user. Now, all that's remaining is for us to actually hit that endpoint, assuming there's no errors. Yeah, we forgot a comma. Yeah, needs a comma behind here because it is a list. Sign in, sign up, sign in, sign up. Click here, all good. Now, when we hit this, we forgot to import our API, which we use down here, and we're also going to need to import our utils for our log function. And now, if we hit it again, yeah, that just worked. We just created Nicole egg. That's funny. Now we're not going to wipe this, because what's going to happen is when we receive this, we're going to jump. We're going to jump into our. We're going to navigate away from this screen. We're going to pop it out of existence essentially. So we don't need to do any wiping there, but we will. Now, to make sure that user actually was created successfully, we can go to our admin, refresh, and look at that. We've got another user, Nicole Green. Back to our chat. Excellent. So we're successfully creating a user. returning the user packet that we expected, and we can also log in and authenticate a user, which I'm going to do right here by just logging myself in again. This won't work, actually. It's interesting. It's one more thing. So when I hit sign in, it will fail. This is hard to read, but it definitely didn't work. And the reason why is because we are inside the simulator. See, inside the iPhone simulator, when we run, where is it, API? When we go to HTTP localhost 8000, the iPhone simulator will just send you to the local machine, which is what this is running on. But the Android Studio won't do that. It actually has to go to a different address to forward it along to this. So we need to update this code very quickly. So we're going to create, we're going to import the platform component or object from React Native, and we're going to, if the OS is equal to iOS, then we're going to return this URL or this address. If, however, if it's not iOS, then that means that it's Android. Then we're going to need to go to a different address, 10.0.2.2. It's just the way that the Android Studio, the Android simulators work. And so now with that little change, when I create some more room, when I hit sign in again, 400. What's going on here? Something that needs to be added. Okay, one more thing I forgot. So in our core settings, up here, allowed hosts, I'm pretty sure localhost is there by default, but we're going to have to add something. So we're going to add our local host, which it should be there already, but just in case. And then we're also going to have to add our 10.0.2.2. We're going to have to add that address as well, so that it's, because this is like a security thing, so that you can specify you're not even going to bother accepting any request that comes from outside of your own site, for example. Security thing. And that should work. And then now we're going to hit it one more time. See, running into these errors is good, because then you know what to do after. Sign in. Boom! Now we can log in and we can create a user very, very well. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to take this data, this packet, and we need to store it in some sort of global store. And that is going to be the next topic. We're going to use a fantastic package called Zustand. And we'll get to that next.